When talking about Swiss watches, most of the times people mention the higher end brands. Rolex, Patek Philippe, Omega, Tudor are amongst the names that pop up during a conversation. To say that this is surprising would be a very silly thing to say. When talking about cars, people often mention the higher end brands too. Ferrari, Aston Martin, Lamborghini and other brands. But what if we have talked about a Mercedes of the watch world, an average price car that always delivers what we need? This is when Longines comes on stage. Longines doesn't exactly fly over anyone's radar. Founded in Seine-et-Marne in 1832 by Auguste Agassiz, with the original name of the company Longines ainsi. Despite being not the oldest watch manufacturer on the market, Longines existed earlier than its competitors in the modern times. Rolex will be founded only 73 years later in 1905, Hamilton in 1892, Bulova in 1875, Tissot in 1853 and Omega in 1848. And Tudor, being the youngest in the group, was founded in 1926. Longines were developing pretty quickly. Their first in-house movement was produced in 1867, and their first chronograph in 1878. After that, though, it took them nearly 50 years to produce their first wristwatch, the Weems Aviation. But the wait was pretty much worth it. In their first creation, Longines were already showing their first traces of the design patterns they will display in the future. It's elegant, neat, and produced in a way to emphasize the classicism of the construction. But let's stop with the history. All of it sounds fun and fancy, especially when reading off a magazine article. But anyone who knows his watches will rightly tell you, if you scrape up a bit of money, you can punch above Longines' price point and get yourself a Tudor, or a Cartier, or a Tag. If you punch lower, you can get a Tissot, or a Seiko, or an Indy. Question stands, why Longines? Take this watch for example. Legend Diver reintroduced in 2008, vintage model created in the 60s. It looks just fine trying to fit into a modern age. So one of the first things to catch anyone's eye would be the two screw-down crowns. Now one of them is logically used to set the time and date, but the other is to rotate the bezel. You see, normally the bezel is located outside of the dial in order to navigate when was the exact time you have submerged underwater. But in this particular model, it is located under the crystal. Look, I know that in modern times the bezels are used as fidget spinners by people, but this is awesome. This version didn't stop at that either. A PVD-coated case, giving it a menacing black look, paired up with almost like handwritten hour markers with slight imperfections and a handwritten automatic on it, creates a paradoxical, yet such a satisfying contrast. Now, usually when you look at a diver's watch, they're quite simply done to make sure all things are easily read off the dial. Quite frankly, it makes perfect sense. You need to be able to quickly and efficiently read off the information so that the watch can be actually used as a tool watch. Longines' approach here is slightly different. They are marrying elegance and function together. Black is paired with green and yellow colors to make it just a bit more distinct, almost like a mysterious, playful touch to the menacing black case. And frankly, it works spectacularly. There are other versions of this diver's watch, and when you look at them, it reinforces the point further. The color palette of these previous iterations are just as bold as the combination of black and yellow. You have a sfumato blue dial, green dial, copper, beige, and red. Now that is bold. There's one phrase that always made me pick my brain. Elegance is an attitude. Longines have been using this slogan for promotion since 1999, and I've always wondered what that means. Why elegance? Why there's a brand that owns and claims that their elegance is an attitude when there are so many others that may do it better? Now, I think I understand. Longines won't offer you a crazy spin on their line of watches. They won't go out of their way and present you a collaboration or a limited edition that will blow you out of your socks. They won't produce a smartwatch or a hybrid. They won't create a ton of different options and lines and iterations of their watch pieces. Instead, they will offer stability. No matter what line or watch you will pick from Longines, they will all have something in common. They will always strive to make an elegant twist to anything that they do. Whether it's a sports skiing watch, a diver, an aviation piece, or a military. The comparison in the beginning of this program was that Longines are the Mercedes of the watch world. However, in the end, I stand corrected. Longines is not a Mercedes. Longines is an Alfa Romeo. This was Gleb from Bands and Buckles. Have a good night.